you love adults only all-inclusive resorts, you are absolutely going to love this property. I can almost guarantee it. My name is Nick, and I want to share with you one of my favorite adults only all-inclusive resorts and why. This property does not get much attention online and social media, really at all. And I'm actually surprised. I don't really know why, other than maybe like they just don't have as big of a marketing team. I think that's actually the reason. So this property is called Marquis. So this is Marquis Adults Only All-Inclusive Resort. And there's something really unique and special about this property. It's not a big brand. It's not part of a huge hotel portfolio. I believe it's actually just a standalone property. There is one thing to know about this property that really stands out, and there's not many other resorts that do this. And that is, there is no timeshare and no vacation club. There's no one in the lobby bothering you. There's no one trying to get you to sign up for a $20,000 or $50,000, fee to join their vacation club, which is basically a timeshare. It's the same thing. But there's really no one there. They don't have a timeshare or vacation club company that they work with, nothing. It's just really the resort, and that's it. That's where it ends. And I actually love it. There's only a handful of properties in Mexico and the Caribbean that actually do this. And one of the other brands that does this is Riu Resorts and Hotels. And the other one is actually Valentin Imperial in Cancun and Riviera Maya. And there is one other brand called Majestic. Majestic does not have a timeshare or vacation club program. There's not many resorts that don't do this. And here's why. They like making money when you're not there. So when you buy into these programs, right, it's basically like a membership, right? They're making a lot of money even when you're not there. And then they come up with kind of all these crazy programs. I don't want to talk about it because it's not my specialty. I don't have a license to sell any of that. So I'm not going to discuss anything else on timeshare or vacation club, other than the fact that this resort that I absolutely love in Cabo, Mexico, does not have a timeshare or a vacation club. So this is Marquis Adults Only All-Inclusive. And I think we really need to talk about one thing in particular, the location of this property. This property is located almost halfway between the airport and Cabo San Lucas, which is the downtown area of Cabo near the marina. So this is actually on the corridor. So if you're going from the airport, right, and then you hang a right going southwest towards Cabo San Lucas, the marina area, it's really almost halfway smack dab right in the middle. So it's really not that far. It's definitely closer to the downtown marina area than the Secrets property that I talked about in a separate video, but this is actually just in a really good spot. You're not that far from anything. So you could even go to Cabo San Lucas for the day for a tour, or maybe go out and take a catamaran tour, or check out El Arco, the rock formation, or you can head to San Jose del Cabo for a day, and you're really not that far. Actually, the location here is absolutely perfect. I still don't understand though why more people are not talking about this property. One thing that I absolutely love about Marquis Resort is the fact that it's adults only and all-inclusive, but the size of this property is perfect. This is a resort for those of you that don't like the big, massive, sprawling resorts. It is much smaller. It's really one building, plus there's technically a building on the side, but it's really one longer building, and it's parallel and directly in front of the water. You are really as close to the ocean as you can possibly get at this resort. That's why, honestly, I love it. And so you don't need a golf cart. You don't need transportation to get around. You can honestly just step out of your room and you are right there with a view. Almost every room here also has an ocean view. This is key. Most people don't understand this, but when you're looking at certain properties, one of the biggest things you have to pay attention to is the size and the layout of the property. Some of these resorts, like I mentioned before, are massive. This property is not. It's one building parallel to the ocean, and the building itself is very, very close to the water. You basically step out, there's a small grassy lawn area, people out there doing a little sports, and then there's two infinity pools that are kind of like a narrow, I wouldn't call it a lazy river, let's just call it, there's really two infinity pools, and they're right up against the water. And honestly, that's the footprint of the property. It's not massive, and you're definitely not gonna get lost here. That's really the key with why some people like these smaller properties like this. Now, this all-inclusive resort does have, similar to other all-inclusive resorts, has your own cafe. Everything in there is all-inclusive. You can order 12 lattes a day, and there's no extra charge. That's all included. They also have snacks and sandwiches and all that good stuff. So if you just want to grab something quick by the pool, you can. The cafe is really the closest place to go. But I really do love that honestly, it's not a big resort. It's really no competition trying to find a seat or trying to get into the restaurants. The a la carte restaurants here are included. And honestly, there's just no fighting over seats. It's not that big of a property. There's only a few hundred guests that this property holds. So I gotta say, I think this is really the sweet spot when it comes to well-rounded, solid, all-inclusive resorts, especially for adults only, because we know a lot of the properties out there, right? Some of them are just way too big. And what happens when you have that many guests in a resort, it's not easy to be able to find a spot in the pool, right? It becomes too crowded. So this property really does fit the bill here. It is really special. Now, something I really love about this adults only all-inclusive resort is the room categories. Now, like I said, there's a couple that are not, that do not have an ocean view, but the vast majority of rooms here do. So you have your standard junior suites, right? Which have the ocean view. Some of them, like I said, do not. But the sweet spot here is actually the upgraded premium rooms. And I think this is one of the few resorts where I think it's absolutely worth it to upgrade if you want some more privacy and you want to feel like you have basically your own little mini villa. So this property has a room category called the Eden, and these are the casitas. Casitas in Spanish basically means like little house. So it's basically like a mini villa, and some of these have your own private plunge pool. And then it depends if you just want an ocean view or if you just want a garden view, which means the room is facing inwards, so you won't have the ocean view. But the garden casitas here, honestly, are some of my favorite room categories of any all-inclusive resort in Cabo. I think Marquis here knocks it out of the park with these. I love it. It's really great. It feels private. It's definitely worth the upgrade here. And I think the view compared to a lot of the other resorts where it's set back really far, these are really nice because, like I said, the property is really close to the ocean. You're really just a few steps from the water. So like other all-inclusive resorts in Cabo, this property does not have a swimmable beach, and it is kind of built up. So if you're standing in front of the property, you're gonna see when you're looking towards the water, it is a little bit of a drop to get down to the water, but I really wouldn't go swimming there. I don't think it's really safe personally. But you do have, it basically looks like the property's almost built up on the sand a little bit, so it's up a little bit higher, but that also helps with the view as well when you're looking out in the ocean, which I really love and my clients really love. But just for reference, this property does not have a swimmable beach. But I will say though, the two infinity pools that are almost right up against the water make up for it 100%. If you are planning a convention or a big event, and I will say this property does do a really good job with their conference room. They actually have a really good size room for a property this size. You usually don't see their meeting space this big, but if you are looking for an event or putting together, say, a destination wedding or a conference, a small scale conference, this property actually works really well, especially if you want an adults only all inclusive and you don't want to be that far from the airport. Because again, location here is key. This is really one of the best spots, if you ask me, on the corridor along the highway in between Cabo San Lucas and San Jose del Cabo. So what is the vibe here at this resort with Marquis? Is it a crazy party resort, or is it a little bit refined, or is it much more relaxed? And I will be honest, this property definitely gives the vibe that you deserve your vacation and you are absolutely going to be guaranteed some relaxation. So it's not a crazy wild party spot. It does have the romantic aspect to it, but I would say it's not like the nursing home, as some people told me. My friends told me, they're like, Nick, will you please let me know if you're booking me at the nursing home resort? I wouldn't call it the nursing home. Is it on the quieter side? Yes. Is there a little bit of entertainment? Yes. Is there a ton though? No. Is there like wild and crazy parties? No. It is a little bit quieter, and it's definitely focused here on the service. The staff here are all going to know your name on the first day you arrive. It's really that great. But I would really consider this a hidden gem in terms of the all-inclusive space because of the service. And let's be honest, who doesn't want to be that close to the ocean? I absolutely do. And price point, this actually prices out very similar to Secrets, sometimes just a little bit higher. But again, compared to Secrets in Cabo, this property is a much smaller footprint. You're not going to get lost if you're traveling with your close friends or girlfriends or doing a little family reunion with everybody who's over age 18. It's not going to be difficult to find everybody. And you're halfway between the two Cabos. Like, this really is one of the, I would call it the sweet spots. It's solid. It's a well-rounded property. The food here is great. The cafe was awesome when I was there. I can't really think of any complaints other than just it's a smaller footprint property. And again, it's parallel to the beach. It's that one building. So if you're looking for something that's a little bit more kind of on the boutique side, this actually does check off pretty much everything on the list, and it's all inclusive. You do have to be over 18 to stay at this property, as it's adults only. So that means no kids under age 18. But most people are coming here for their honeymoon and kind of like a couple's getaway. And I've done quite a few girls trips, and they've all given me the same feedback. They thought it was well-rounded, solid, and not in the price point of the ultra luxury properties. So this was a great property that I would consider premium. Have you stayed at this property before? Have you heard of it? Or is this the first time you're hearing about Marquis Adults-only all-inclusive resort in Cabo? I would love to know. Also, have you been to Cabo before or anywhere in the Caribbean? What was one of your favorite resorts? And also, what was one that you really did not enjoy? I would love to hear this. I like hearing all the feedback in the comments. And trust me, I do go through and read all these. So if you can, drop a comment, let me know. And also, don't forget to click subscribe if you want to learn more about all-inclusives, and make sure you're traveling a little smarter and better and getting the most value for your money, and make sure you're actually getting what you want on your next vacation. Let me know what you think about this property, and I will see you in the next video.